Hello everyone, my name is Phonix from Revowatch, and today we are going to be covering week 3. So let's start off with the first day, which was Friday, and let's have a look at the matches. So I did do a video predicting the scores, and I also predicted the other ones, I just didn't do it on video. So that will change. I will start predicting them all on video. I may start an Instagram account, we'll have to see. So first match of the day was Washington against the Philadelphia Fusion, and so I predicted that Fusion would win 4-0 or 3-1, so I was correct in this one. So next match was Seal Dynasty against the Boston Uprising. Again, I predicted that Boston would win. I said 3-2, but in the end it was a 3-1 match. So it was a good match. I think Seal underperformed again. I don't know what to expect of Seal. They're a bit weird. Anyway, let's look at Florida Mayhem against the Guangzhou Charge. This was a lot closer than I thought it would be. I said 3-1 for the Charge. In the end, it was 3-2 for the Charge. I didn't think it would go to map 5. In the end, it did. So I do think Mayhem is a bit better than I thought. Probably better than Justice, so they're not the worst team in the league. So yeah, I'm a bit impressed by Mayhem, but at the end of the day, they didn't win. So I was correct again. And then the San Francisco Shock against the Hangzhou Spark. And this one I predicted that the Shock would win 3-1 or 4-0. And I was correct because the Shock won 3-1. So I was a bit disappointed in the Spark. I did do in my expansion teams ranking. I put them at number 4 because I thought they would perform a bit better in week 3. In the end, they kind of did, but they didn't perform like they did in week 1. So I'm a bit disappointed, but anyway. Okay, now let's have a look at day 2. So the first match of the day was the LA Gladiators versus the London Spitfire. I'm not gonna lie, I did predict that the LA Gladiators would win this one 3-1. In the end, they didn't. The London got the victory. It was a close match. So London actually a lot better than I thought. I thought that they overperformed in week 2, but at the end they're actually a really good team, and they're probably a playoff material. Maybe not in this stage because they did lose 2 matches in week 1. But I will do predictions for playoffs later on this week, so keep an eye out for that. Next, we had the Toronto Defiant against the NYXL. I predicted NYXL would win this one 3-1 or 4-0. They did win it 3-1 in the end, and NYXL is a great team. I still think Toronto is one of the best expansion teams, probably in their rank 3 like I did in my expansion teams video. They're a great team, they're organized, and you'll see later in this week they did win a match at the end. So yeah, so next we have the LA Valiant against the Vancouver Titans. For an LA Valiant fan, I'm a bit disappointed, but I knew that they wouldn't win this one. I did predict that the Vancouver Titans would win this one. I thought it'd be 4-0, Valiant got a match at the end, but yeah, they kind of got rolled. So yeah, Vancouver definitely the best team out there. I do think that they're better than NYXL now. I think that's confirmed for me, but we never know. I really would like to see a Vancouver versus NYXL match. Next, we have the Shanghai Dragons against the Chengdu Hunters, and this just proves even more that that the Chengdu Hunters beating the Guangzhou Charge is a complete and utter upset. It shouldn't have happened. The Guangzhou Charge was better, and Shanghai just 4-0'd them. I predicted that it would go 3-2 for Shanghai. I thought that it would be a lot closer match than it was, but Shanghai just rolled them. So yeah, I'm happy that Shanghai are getting wins this season, because last season just going 4-0 is a bit sad. But anyway, I'm happy for Shanghai. They did win in week 2. They got their first victory. So yeah. So next we have the day 3, and this just started off with Paris to turn on Atlanta Reign with 100% the biggest upset of the week. I did predict that Paris would win this one 4-0 or 3-1. At the end, Paris, their goats wasn't good. They just weren't playing well, and the fan was popping off. The whole of Atlanta Reign was popping off, in fact. Dogman, Great Zenyatta, they're all great players there. They do have a weak diva, but anyway, really good players. Atlanta Reign definitely deserve it, and this just I put Atlanta Reign at number 5 for my expansion teams video, and now I definitely think they're higher than that. I thought them beating Toronto was kind of an upset, but actually I don't know. I do think Atlanta might be better than Toronto, and I do think Paris might be overrated. I don't know if they just didn't play well, but I'm a bit disappointed in Paris. So anyway, I predicted 3-1 for Paris or 4-0, so I was completely wrong. Next, we have the Florida Mayhem against the Houston Outlaws. I did predict Outlaws would win this one 3-1, and they did in the end. So I do think that Florida Mayhem underperformed here. I don't know, Outlaws is a sub 15 team, so is Mayhem, I think. So it wasn't a super interesting match, but it was okay. Next, we have the San Francisco Shock against the Washington Justice. Obviously, I predicted that the San Francisco Shock would win this one 3-1 or 4-0, and they did. They just destroyed Washington 4-0. And so yeah, not a great match. It was just they just got rolled. So yeah. Next, we have the Shanghai Dragons versus the Dallas Fuel. For me, the best match of this week. It was really good. I did predict Dallas Fuel would win this 3-1. It was a really interesting match, and I do think that this just killed Shanghai's chances to go to the playoffs. We'll have to see. They do still have a chance, but I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. Next, we have day 4, and we have the Boston Uprising versus the Toronto Defiant. And this is what I told you about. Toronto did win a match at the end, but I do think that they were going to win this one. I did predict they were going to win this one 3-1. Boston isn't a great team. They do have fusions now, but I still think they're not. Think they're not playoff material. I don't think they're top 12 even. So yeah, Toronto got this victory pretty easily. Next, we have the Hangzhou Spark versus the Los Angeles Gladiators. I predicted Gladiators would win this one 3-2 or 3-1, but at the end, the Spark did win 3-1. They played well, so this kind of proves that Spark are a bit on and off. They're really like inconsistent, so I don't know what to think. I don't know if they're top 4 expansion teams or if they're lower. It's really weird. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're not. Next, we have the LA Valiant against the Guangzhou Charge, and this was a little bit close, I guess, but at the end of the day, I did predict that the Guangzhou Charge would win this one 3-2 or 3-1. They did win in the end. LA Valiant, yeah, I'm kind of disappointed. I thought they would be better, but I think right now, to be honest, they're probably a sub 15 team, and they got in the playoffs last year, so I don't know, they won a stage. Bit weird. I do think they're like really underperforming. I don't think this meta is for them, so maybe in stage 2 we'll see a different LA Valiant. Next, we have the NYXL against the Seal Dynasty. I thought that the Seal Dynasty, after their loss this week, would just completely get destroyed. But at the end of the day, they did get one map. So, yeah, you know. I did predict 4-0 for the New York Excelsior. But, yeah, at the end of the day, Seal did get a map, which is pretty good. And I just wanted to talk about the fact that the LA Gladiators lost both their games. Not only did they lose to the London Spitfire, they also lost to the Spark, which also lost their match against the SF Shock. And they lost quite badly. So I don't know where the LA Gladiators are right now. I know going into the league most people put them top 8 at least. The thing is right now they lost against the Spark, they lost against the Spitfire. So for me, I don't even know if they're top 8, they might be top 12, I don't know, it's a bit weird. So yeah, the LA Gladiators, they've definitely been underperforming, but I want to talk about good stuff. So let's talk about the London Spitfire, who just came back into the league, and they just won against the LA Gladiators, as I just said. I mean, that's pretty good, especially as they lost both their games in week 1 against the Fusion and against the Paris Eternal. So 2 good teams they lost. But that really doesn't mean anything because they kind of got destroyed. And they nearly lost to the Washington Justice going into week 2. So that's quite bad. But they were playing really well and they won against the Spark in week 2 also. So I don't know what to think. I do think that right now the London Spitfire is a top 8 team. They're performing well, so I definitely think they're back. And I think that going into week 4, you really need to be worried if you're any of the teams going against them. They have a match against the Shanghai Dragons, and I don't see them losing this one. I mean, the Shanghai Dragons, sure, they're top 15 team, but that doesn't really mean anything, because the London Spitfire, they're performing really well. I want to talk about the Dallas Fuel, so, I mean, it was a bit weird, they're performing up and down. I think they actually have a shot for the playoffs. So we'll have to see. They're playing against the Dragons again, and I think they can win that match. And then they're playing against the Uprising, and I think they'll win that too. We'll have to see. I do think that, well, anyway, I'm gonna do playoff predictions video, so you'll have to see that. But yeah, right now the Dallas Fuel, they're in spot number 10, right after the Paris Eternal. So let's see. I don't know who's gonna make the playoffs. I do think that the NYXL, Vancouver, they're definitely going to be there. NYXL 6-0 right now. They are undefeated. So, yeah, this should be really interesting. The match I want to see in the playoffs is NYXL versus the Vancouver Titans. They're the top teams. I do think we'll be able to see it. And let's talk about Atlanta Reign. I mean, they're just playing out of their minds. And I think right now they might be a top 5 team. As per usual, one day before the league, I do my top 5 as of right now. So I'll do that on Wednesday. Don't forget to watch my videos, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and bye bye.